Everyone, welcome back to another Tinkercad tutorial. This time I'm working with a laser that has an abnormal exhaust size compared to the rest of my system. And so I need to make an adapter to be able to pull the air from that laser into my exhaust system. So we are going to jump into Tinkercad, and basically I'm going to be showing you how to make like a tapered tube. This is going to have a couple of normal circular round ends, but we're going to have a taper in the middle to kind of make that transition. So if that's something you're interested in, want to learn more about it, stay tuned. I'm going to jump right into it. I have the new laser in the shop, and that's the Reno 45 Pro, and on the back of that they have a 5-inch exhaust port. Now I love seeing larger exhaust ports on these lasers. A lot of them come with something that's way too small, and we're trying to adapt it, but in this case it's kind of in between the two sizes of venting that I have in my systems, and so I need to change it to either a 4 or 6 inch. Now it's not going to be going where the 6-inch stuff is right now, so we're going to stick with making a 4-inch adapter. Down the road use the same method and make a 6-inch one if I need to. So that's the scenario that we're working with. I've gone and measured the port both for the duct and the ring, and they are 5-inch and 4-inch. So that's going to make it really easy, but you want to double check. Don't just assume they're going to be spot on, because you'll find yourself redoing it. So once you have your exact measurements for this type of scenario, we can move ahead. So let's jump over into Tinkercad. And let's start out. So first thing we always want to do is I always come up here into the upper left corner, and I'm going to rename this, and we're going to go 4-inch to 5-inch reducer. I guess 4-inch to 5-inch would be not a reducer, but that works. All right, so we're going to start with the hole that we have. That's going to be the part. It's going to be fitting over that 5-inch port. So we're going to start with a cylinder, and we are going to use the hole instead of the solid. And here we're just going to simply make this 5 by 5. So I'm hitting 5, tab 5, hit enter. We'll bring this back over into the middle, and you'll see we have our 5-inch diameter hole. I'm going to bump our sides up so this is a little more round, and that's just going to be the inner part of the sleeve of this. We can play with the height, but I'm not going to do that right at this time. Let's get this entire tube made. So slide that off to the side for right now, bring in our other cylinder, and for this one we want to make it bigger to create the wall of this part of the tube. And so I'm kind of going with 0.15 inches. 1/8 inch seems just a little too light. 1/4 inch is a little too much meat. So we're going to go with that. Now remember, you're adding that distance to both sides. So since we're doing the diameter, we need to add that thickness. So we are going to go 5.3 and 5.3. That'll give us a 0.15 wall on each side. Again, we're going to bump our sides up. Now we can bring both these together, get them approximately in place, select them both by dragging across them, and before we join them, we're going to align them, click in the center, and now we can join them together, and we have our tube, which this inner circle should be 5 inches, the outer circle is going to be 5.3, and this should give us a 0.15 wall on here. So we have that, and now we can kind of move this off to the side, because we're going to now work on the kind of the transition part. So we need to make a tapered tube. So what we can use for that is actually the cone object. So we're going to start here again with the cone. Now on this one, we want it to match up with the wall of the inner and outer wall of this one. So the bottom circle and the top circle, you see we've got this top radius and this base radius. That's what we're going to be playing with. What we can do is we need to take our 5.13 and divide that by 2. So I'll bring our calculator over here. 5.3 divided by 2. Our radius is going to end up being 2.65. So come over to our base radius, go 2.65, and that is going to stretch out our base radius, and you see we have a very flat cone. So now our top radius is 0. It's coming to a point, but that is going to be coming to a 4-inch circle, but we're also going to be adding a wall to that one. Again, it's going to be basically the same, the 0.3 inch. So we need to take 4.3, divide by 2, and that's going to give us 2.15. So if we come here to top radius and go 2.15, now we have a little bit more of a cone, a tapered cone, but we need to make the hole, and we are going to go ahead and bump up our sides to give it as much of a round look as possible. So with that in mind, now we want to bring in another cone. I'm going to slide this one off to the side, bring in another cone, drop it here, and here's where we are going to make the inside. So again, we want to repeat this, but we're just going to use the half of 5 and the half of 4. So those are, of course, 2.5 for the base and 2 for the top. And then we're going to change this to a hole. Now, if we drag this back over, once again, select them both. Make sure we are centered in our alignment on both of them. Now we can group these, and now you see we have our transition piece. Now, the other thing you might want to consider is stretching this out a little bit. If you have too sharp of an angle, that can cause some turbulence, so we may want to actually increase the transition on this. It just lessens the angle on this. So we'll go 1.5 inches on that. I am not a fluid dynamics engineer by any means, so I'm kind of going by that looks about right. So now we can also move this up 1 inch, and we can move this back over here. Once again, we can select them both, use our alignment tool, center and center. We want to kind of pivot around, orbit around, double check that it looks like things are kind of lining up. Make sure you don't have something stuck down too far. They look good. So what we can do is come back here, select them both, and combine. Now you see we have one object again. I just remember anytime if you kind of need to go back and change things, you can ungroup, and it'll kind of do it in phases. So now it's ungrouped the two parts together. But for now, we're just going to leave that as one object. Now we need to complete the transition. We need to make our top tube. So once again, we're going to come here. We're going to start with the hole, and I'm going to click down here. We're going to simply make this 4 by 4. So I'm hitting 4, tab, and 4. Hit enter. Again, move our sides up to make it as round as possible, and then bring in our other one. And this one needs to be, let's get that out of there so I can click these easier. This needs to be 4.3, tab 4.3. Bump our slides up. And that one is sitting too high. We're going to bring it back down to the base. Once again, select them both, alignment, center, center, combine. Looks good. Now we can bring this up. So we need to come up 1 inch, 2.5 inches actually. So we're going to grab this arrow, bring it up 2 1/2. Bring this over here, select them all. Once again, alignment, center, and center. Everything looks good. So then we can combine, select them both, and combine. And there we have basically one piece, one model that is going to take a 5-inch sleeve and reduce it down to a 4-inch. Now, if you were going to put this around the hose, you'd probably need to make this in a little bit more. So the outer wall is actually at the 4 inches so that the hose can fit over it. That's where you definitely want to look and make sure you're measuring the right parts. Otherwise, you're going to end up printing this out and having to redo it. That's our model. Now all we need to do is hit export, and we can download the STL. So we have our Bambu slicer open, and I'm just going to drag and drop our object in over here. We're pretty much just using the standard PLA. We are using all the default options. You can take a look, make sure that everything looks good here as well. I wouldn't worry so much about the lines. It's just the way that Tinkercad models things. You're going to get kind of these splines as arcs. For this, it's a functional piece. It's not decorative. It's going to be fine. If we want to, so I've got the AMS in there. I've got 3 different colors. If I want, I can change the filament. So instead of white, we could make it black, or we can make it orange. We pick our filament and then we go ahead and slice plate. This is just going to ensure that everything looks good, that it doesn't have any problems with it. There's no overhanging parts. So everything is pretty good in here. At this point, we'd be able to go ahead and throw this off to the printer. As you can see here, it's looking like it's going to use about 95 grams of filament, about 31 meters. Estimated cost of $2.37. And it's going to take about 3 hours to print this one out. So you can play around with some of your settings there, change your infill, change your size, your height. Maybe you don't need a full inch on the both ends. You could cut that down just to save a little time, save a little filament. But that's all we got to do. And we would send it off to the printer here. And when we're done, we'll have our part. All right, so I did print out and make a few different sizes of these, and this is one of them that I actually made the wall a little thicker than I needed to on this one, but I thought I'd show you it as an example off the printer. And I do have another one that is working on the Reno Pro, so we'll maybe look at that as I get towards that review. But this is kind of what it looks out or ends up as. You can kind of see those lines from those splines, those as arcs. Really doesn't have a big impact on the functionality of this, but you do kind of see them. Again, this is a functional product. It's not decorative by any means. It's hopefully going to be hidden most of the time, but nice way to make a tapered tube from one size down to another. Very functional part for in our workshops when dealing with lasers and trying to work with our smoke exhaust systems. So just another way that 3D printer can help out, and how Tinkercad can make the process of designing some of these things fairly simple. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down below. I will continue to share things on Tinkercad as I come up with them, and of course printing them out on the Bambu Lab printers. They are my printer of choice right now. They tend to be working very well. They're great for beginners, so if you're looking for them, I'll have links down below to those where you can check them out. They are affiliate links. They do help me out a little bit, but I'm just telling you what I'm using in my shop and how I'm using it. And hopefully it inspires you. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got something out of it. We will see you again soon with another project. And meantime, I hope you can get out into your workshop and make something too. And we'll catch you next time.